Well, the most obvious one, which we all experience, is obviously the remote working and the fact that it entirely changes the perspective of corporate travel and reevaluates the value of meetings and traveling to meet people, which is the first one. The second one is obviously the change of travel policies and more, focus on duty of care, which becomes now a big priority in terms of safety information and making sure that travelers do the right thing when they travel. And the last one is the focus on sustainability, which has really moved up the agenda of most companies and government institutions, and which obviously will impact travel in the long run. Well, the first thing that is quite interesting to say is that travel management companies have never been more relevant because, of course, customers require a lot of support, assistance, and access to information that we as a TMC can provide. So this is the first thing. I think it's fair to say that the demand in terms of service is much higher. The second thing is obviously the fact that companies have adapted already and they are already using much more of video conferencing and different, remote meeting kind of facilities and services. And this is here to stay. So this is quite obvious. And the next one I want to say is like this kind of culture of you need to adapt always because things are changing every day. If you take the example of the bubble between Hong Kong and Singapore, it has been postponed already twice. So all the people that had plans organized needed to adapt and change again. And you have a lot of, borders opening and closing again and, situations going differently in different markets. So adaptability is a key word and access to information, obviously.
I think that we can all agree we've had to become a lot more agile, not just in life, but certainly when it comes to planning, meeting and events. Getting used to the fact that things are definitely going to change. Lead times have shortened and we need to be ready with that plan A, plan B, plan C so that we can make sure that the show goes on. And I think a byproduct of that is that we've seen a complete change in the way that we contract on behalf of our customers and work with our suppliers, because we've had to become a lot more flexible. We've had to become a lot more empathetic around the needs and the changing needs of our customers, but also how we work together to have that shared ownership or that shared risk management strategy in place to make sure that our events go ahead as planned, irrespective of what's going on in the community or in the world around us. Event technology has had a significant impact on the way that, not only the way we live, but also the way that we meet, the way that we connect, the way that we communicate with our audiences, virtual, hybrid, and combination of that. All of those, it's really pushed us, lightning speed forward into, a new world where we can really integrate event technology to drive some fantastic results for our customers, maximize engagement, produce much richer content, and elongate that event life cycle. All fantastic benefits of event technology that I think is really important for us to learn from and make sure that we hold on to that and incorporate into, the future of meetings and events. Importantly, health and safety and well-being is a number one priority, not just for us, not just for corporates, for their audiences, whether that be employees or their own customers, but also for third parties, to make sure that we are all actively working together to follow the current COVID safe guidelines that are in place within our own regions and locations across Australia and across the world. We will never go back. The safety and hygiene practices are here to stay, and it's really important for us to create delegate confidence and build that consumer confidence that we have everything in place to make sure that their meeting and events plans can be executed safely and in the best interest of their audiences and their people. The meeting and events experience that we deliver in conjunction with our customers really needs to have the delegate at the heart of what we do. And what is important is to make sure that we are factoring in a focus on well-being, whether that's psychological, physical, emotional well-being. It's an important element to intertwine through your event journey to make sure that all of the delegates have the opportunity to take care of themselves as a number one priority. And finally, sustainability. Making sure that we are offering all of our customers the opportunity and the platform and the tools and the resources to really sincerely focus on sustainability when it comes to planning their meetings and events programs. Now, whether that is by offering a carbon offset program, CSR activities as part of their team building plan, or really strategically focusing on purpose-driven objectives with businesses. These are all critical components of our landscape that have changed, but I think they've changed for the better. And I think if we can continue to focus on these things, will set us up for good stead in the future.
Well, the first thing is access to information. As I said already, things are changing every day, and you need to keep, yourself informed to make sure that you know what the requirements are going to be for your travelers. And that means relying on a travel management company which has access to this information. So that's the first point. And the second thing I want to say, linked to this, is the enablement that technology brings to this, because we can basically give you access to information through the technology. And I'm thinking of all those AI engines and all of that, which bring information to your travelers when they need to access it. And, last not least, it's really about, what do we do around this health wallet that we've been talking about for a while, and making sure that you have a place where you can store all of your medical information that are required to travel, having the right passes, having the right vaccination certificates, for example, or PCR testing. And those are the important pieces right now that you need to successfully navigate through this.
This is a really exciting time for our industry because we are rebuilding and we are growing fast. And as leaders within the industry, it's important that we take a step back and have a good look at our business models and really focus on identifying what are the resources, what are the skill sets that we need to make sure that we can get ourselves from where we are today to the industry that we want to be in the future. And I've definitely learned a lot personally over the last 12 to 15 months about teams and leadership and the importance of people being able to come together to perform in the face of adversity. And these are the attributes that I would call out as being important when you're thinking about recruiting your teams in the future. Having people within your team that have the ability to behave in generalist roles, irrespective of their job title, those that are able to cross-skill, jump in, roll their sleeves up, get their hands dirty to get the job done. And I think that this will continue to add value to the meetings and events community and our customers as we continue to grow. And in addition to that, it's also important that we have people within our teams that are very resilient and open to change, given that any given day very rarely ends up the way that we started. We get things thrown at us, changes, requests, new opportunities, and I think it's really important to be able to adjust and move with the pace of the day, and not to get too bogged down in too much structure and too much to-do list focus. Empathetic listeners, so our people that are representing our organization need to be able to sit in front of our customers and understand and listen empathetically about their needs and requirements. I think that we've all gone through a lot. Our customers have gone through a lot. Their audiences have gone through a lot. And so it's really important in our roles to be able to get a really good understanding of what's important and then to make sure that we're able to deliver on that. Innovators and ideators, so those people that love coming together and thinking crazy thoughts outside of the box to solve problems for our customers, absolutely critical, not just for creative problem solving and design thinking, but also for pushing the boundaries of our industry as we grow and as we discover, what are the next trends, what are the next behaviors, what is the next big thing that's going to add value to the meeting and events delegate experience. And finally, for me, it's really important to have a team that has a great sense of humor, really fun-loving, because at the end of the day, we will all come together. This is what really matters. And to be able to create a community and a culture and a workplace that people want to be a part of is really important for your retention. But more importantly, it's important because your customers see this. And I think that when they understand who you are and what you stand for, it makes it so much easier to do business together as you form those really valuable, trusted relationships. So that's my opinion on what I think the future of our workforce will look like.
I think one of the easiest thing to do is to talk to your TMC. I mean, we've all been working on programs around that to help you support your sustainability goals, and it's very important that we understand what you want to achieve as a company. Obviously, you also need to set clear goals and making sure that you know what you are trying to target for sustainability, because it covers such a wide range of options, and you need to pick the ones which make sense for you and your travel program. And this is where we can obviously help you as a travel management company and making sure that you are achieving your goals.
Now is the time for us to come together as a meeting and events community to focus on a more sincere and sustainable effort towards sustainability. We know that Australians in particular are significantly concerned about this topic, and that this sentiment is echoed across the globe. So as a meeting and events industry and as a community, what can we do to make a difference? Let's start with how we choose our meeting and event destinations and venue locations. If we can avoid traveling or excess travel, that is a great start. However, if that's not possible, then when we are choosing our meeting locations, can we make sure that we are working with partners that are certified in alignment with Green Star or with LEED certification? This is really important in terms of taking an active approach to reducing your carbon footprint. We have partnered with South Pole to offer a carbon offset program to our meetings and events customers, which enables them to make sure that their meeting and event plans are carbon neutral and to be able to offset their carbon footprint against 4 climate action projects. In addition to this, I think it's really important as a business, and this is something that we've done at FCM Meetings and Events, to set a really good foundation and a purpose-driven objective around sustainability. And we've done this by making sure that we've aligned with a core set of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And what this has done is it has acted as a foundation and as a guiding principle as to how we do what we do and how we deliver events that create memories. For us, we've chosen to align ourselves with quality education, gender equality, clean energy, climate action, and partnerships for the goals. And this is a fantastic way to engage not only your employees, but also your audiences. And then you can incorporate content based on the SDGs into your own meeting and events programs, which then generate a focus on education and awareness of these key topics that could then drive impact. Secondly, we would challenge you to take that to the next level and to use these SDGs to then guide what kind of CSR or sustainable team building initiatives or content that you're going to actually incorporate into your meeting and event content itself. And therefore then you're, adhering to, your guiding principles, but making sure that once again, you're engaging and educating your audiences on these really important topics. And finally, at the beginning of the event planning process, it's really important to look at the logistical piece from end to end and make sure that the entire event experience has a sustainability focus at all the different touch points in relation to the suppliers that you're choosing to work with, the experience that you're providing, or the experiences that you might need to tweak to make sure that they are in alignment with your sustainability focuses or your overall SDGs. So that's my personal view on how we can be doing more to make an impact on sustainability in the meetings and events industry.